Yeah, that that pen was hella soft, man. But hey, we take it because we're lowly Man United against the mighty Wigan, and so we need to get every advantage we can get. Um, Jonathan David, you said you don't want anyone, you want more established striker, which is fair enough. Like I don't disagree with that. The situation we're in with Hoyland, do we need another player who's potentially raw or not there yet to help us? Probably not. But the question is, Terry, who the hell is an established striker in 2024? Because the ones that are 25 plus play first team regular football for a decent team. Like Ollie Watkins is not going to leave Aston Villa for this crap Man United team right now when they're technically going for the title. Um, I'm looking at strikers around the world. They're good. Like Vlahovic, he's good, but again, why would he leave Juve, who are in a better state right now than we are? So as much as I would rather have a older or better striker than Jonathan David, right now we just need something. Like because we can't depend on Martial. His body's finished. He's mentally done. Rashford can't play the striker role the way that we need him to this season, and he's out of form. And all the other options are like Choupo-Moting. So at this point, I'll give Jonathan David a go. If it's a loan deal, I wouldn't buy him.
So
But if
again,
we get him a loan, I'll give
loan
him a go.
deal, I can get on board with. The reason why I wouldn't buy him though is I take all your points on board that we want better than maybe not be available. I would rather wait for the right person. I think the problem that Man United have had, and we've done this consistently over the last decade, is we will buy a substandard player to fill a hole, or we buy a player that is a square peg for a round hole. And all that does over the course of time is create more issues for us. We can't move them on. We have an imbalanced squad. I would, if we want, it's like I was saying about Arsenal earlier. Say Arsenal want Ivan Toney or Victor Osimhen, and there's no one else they want other than those two. They're the top two on their list, and they're not available now. And the next player down available on the list is like a Timo Werner level. I think they're better off reinvesting that money into a top midfielder they want, who's high up on their priority list, because at least then it's a top target for a particular area, rather than bringing in a substandard player who, over the course, and again, maybe in the short term will score a few goals for you, but over a longer period of time is not going to be up to the level. So I think you just need to get that. I think you just need to get that balance right. So if it was a short-term loan with an option to buy someone like Jonathan David, then I wouldn't be overly against it. But buying him now, it just feels too much of a risk to me. Even though I get where you're coming from, that we do need additional goals, but I'm not sure he'd score right now. And then if we bring another guy in that isn't scoring, suddenly you're lumbered with two players taking up the wages they are, and then you might not have enough money left to go out and buy that established guy. So this is where I want the new regime to be smart and stop putting. And do you know what we do at United too much? We snooker ourselves too often. And it's always because, and I know everyone wants to win now, and everyone got to win the league now, go win the FA Cup now. And I get that notion, but we snooker ourselves too much with short-term, instant gratification thinking. And I just think we need to be more mindful of, can we behave differently to how we behaved in the past? Is that more likely to benefit us? Potentially, in my opinion. But I do hear you. We need more goals, 110%. I'd rather, if we're going to get someone on loan, let's try and loan someone like Benzema. Genuinely, go out of our way, try and get someone who's experienced, of that ilk, that age. There's talk that Lewandowski's not very happy at Barcelona. That would still be, at his age, a better option than Jonathan David, in my opinion, because you've got age and experience. That's what I would kind of look at, really.
But we're in a tough spot because it's one of those ones, no matter what we do, it's going to be scrutinized, it's going to be seen as the wrong thing to do. I can guarantee you, I can already find people saying Man United trying to get Benzema is foolish because he's old, or he's played in Saudi now, or the wages that we have to cover is ridiculous. Like, so I don't think there's anything that we can do in January to please anyone. Our fan base, pundits, rivals, like there's nothing we can do. Like, Kate's right, we do need a bigger signing than that, but like, right, honestly, the striker market is a disgrace. I've never seen such a lack of quality strikers in my life when it comes to even things like one-on-ones. Look
But
at the quality of one-on-ones in World
I think
football now.
I think there are some good strikers out there. The problem that you have with Man United right now is we are financially very tight because of years of malpractice, and we're not in a strong position in the league. If we were top of the league, clear by 5 points, and we'd been managed financially very well in the last 5 years, but we wanted a striker, we could theoretically go and get whoever we wanted on paper. But we're in a crappy position where it's harder to attract, and we don't have a bottomless supply of money because of how badly we've been run. So I do think there's options, but we just don't have the facilities for that big man right now. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's the issue. I get the market we're fishing, the pool we're fishing in. The fish are tiny, they're small, and they're not very succulent. It's I hear you, mate. I really do. I really hear what you're saying here. Ray's joined us this morning. What you saying, Ray?
Yes, boys. Big it up, man, like Terry and Kay, man. How are you guys, man?
Very well, Ray. How about yourself?
Yes, I'm very, very well. Yeah, man. Coming on to the striker stuff, man. You know what I mean? We're not in that keckling fish anymore because we're, let's go get the biggest names and everything, man. Right now, I'm just like, take what you can get. A decent guy who can score you 10 goals, maybe 15 goals, and just work with him. And then work with what we've got because, as you said, the years and years of mistreatment of this club has killed us off, man. You know what I mean? We're now in 2024 and we're just getting a structure in place, hopefully. And all I'm now is just a very patient United fan right now, just waiting to see what this structure will bring because I've done the bells and whistles. Oh, let's get this guy. But looking at the way the club is, looking at the financial structure of the club, nah, man, I just take anyone who could just put the ball in the back of the net and just take it from there. That's where I am at the moment as a fan.
I get that. Someone just put this name into the chat. Solanke. I would rather sign Solanke more than Jonathan David.
Oh no, I would take that. I would take that.
Yeah, if we're talking that level, I get where you're coming from. Kate mentions a player here. Like, what about? I think it's pronounced Gudassi. Again, I would prefer him over Jonathan David based on what I've read, what I've seen. He's also a little bit older as well, I think. I want to say this guy's
27. He's 27.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's about 27 years of age, so he's a little bit more experienced. However, the problem you have with this guy is that it's only really been this year where he looks, the last couple of years at Stuttgart, where he's looked really good. Like, he wasn't doing it in France. Didn't even do it in, it was a long time ago. He played in the Bundesliga before. But yeah, listen, I think he's a potential player that could help us as an example.
He reminds me, he'll just be like another Amrabat, where a good 18 months comes in and then we just don't want him again anyway. Like we might as well just get Igalo back at this rate. You know what I mean? This is where we're at right now. It's a shame.
You're kidding us,
he's a good player, but I don't know. I just that deal would stink to me. Absolutely stink.
I think what's worrying me as well as United fan is I don't know what this club is, man. I know I said I'm happy with anybody, but the only thing what annoys, what really worries me is that we get Jonathan Davis, and then we go, oh, you know what? Let's keep him for next season and the other seasons, and that's the scary thing.
I think that's where we're going to see whether or not these owners the new part owners are serious or not. It's going to be in the way in which they handle these situations and these moments. In terms of even when we loaned what's his name, Uncle Iggy, all those years ago. There's people talk about, oh, maybe we should keep him. It's like, no, we need better than this. There was the first couple of weeks of Weghorst, everyone was like, oh, this guy could do a little job for us. No, even if he scored some goals, we need better than this. We need to raise those standards of players, and we need an ownership that are not cutting corners. I've
just realized we don't need to be signing a new striker. We have one already that needs to be played in his actual position. We need to go out and get a midfielder and play McTominay up front, because at this rate,
well, maybe that's an option. But again, like, creativity is a thing as well. Like, we're linked to these strikers in the media, but another train of thought I have the whole time is I'd rather assign someone that's, whether it's a winger or whether it's someone that plays attacking midfield, I'd rather someone that's got some playmaking abilities. Rafinha is supposedly available. I'd love someone of Rafinha's level on the right-hand side right now, even if that was a short-term deal. Just we saw what he didn't do enough of it in the second half, and he's young and he's a little bit inexperienced still. But we saw what Garnacho was doing in the first half yesterday. We saw what he did. He was very good on the right-hand side against Aston Villa as well. Maybe a bit more creativity would help us, as opposed to, I know you need someone to put the ball in the back of the net, but we still, in my opinion, we did yesterday against Wigan, but they're League One. We still lack we're still one of the lowest creative teams in the Premier League as well. So there's multiple areas that we need to fix, really. It's crazy. So I think there's multiple areas. I think there's multiple areas that we could look at in that regard. This is a comment here from. Honesty says, big up Terry. In my opinion, both Jota and Bruno are soft penalties. I would understand if the ref didn't give it to either. This is what's crazy about it. Like, Bruno's for me was more of a penalty in the sense of his whole foot was kicked. You kick someone's foot like that, it's a foul. It should be. One thing I don't like in football is this idea that a foul in the box is a higher threshold than a foul outside the box. You either raise the threshold for fouls everywhere, or you lower the threshold for fouls everywhere. This nonsense of in the box, you have to be you basically have to have your leg broke to get a penalty is just ridiculous. But I understand why people say they're soft. I do, because of the way they go down. But the reason players have to go down is you don't get them if you don't go down, which is mad, because you get them everywhere else on the football pitch. It's kind of crazy. Have you noticed that, like, a goalkeeper can smash through everybody and punch the ball? But if a defender smashes through three people and then heads it, it's a foul. You notice that when Emi Martinez came out and won a brilliant tackle against Rashford, but cleaned him out with a follow-through, no foul. There was a player did it the other day. I can't remember which game it was, but he got booked for it. Won the ball, but his trailing leg went through the player, got booked. That's the nonsense in football, in my opinion, more so than the dive in. Personally, look at that, Kate. They've been a member now for 2 months on the Terrace. I love that.